just a second. Well, maybe that's as big as I can make that, huh? Well, what if I shrink that? Oh, yep, there we go. Alright, that's a little better. That's a little better. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Let me make sure this live feed is working. I'm using Streamlabs here, and it was giving me some guff before I went live, so I just want to make sure everything's up to par. If you get here, if you can hear me, if you can see me, let me know if it sounds okay. I got some feedback going on my microphone's registering some crap, so I want to see if that's doing okay. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Can I hear it? Oh, that sounds horrible. That sounds terrible. What is going on here? Hang on, guys. Hang on. The element is too small to be displayed. What is going on? Oh. Alright, let's see. There, I got it. Okay. Where's my microphone settings? Okay. Give me just a second here, guys. Properties. Switch that to Tool Smart Audio HD. Alright, now it looks like my voice is registering better, but I'm still getting quite a bit of feedback. Smart Audio HD. There, that sounds way better. Now it looks like my voice is registering better, but I'm good. Good morning, guys. How's everybody doing? Good to see you guys. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Yesterday, Caitlin and I went to my old church that I originally started attending when I first became a believer. And then after that, we actually went to our second service. We went back and went to church at our normal church that we attend now since December. We've been attending. It was Cross Point Church in Whitewater. Now it has changed to the Chapel in Whitewater. We've been attending church there since the beginning of December. Before that, before COVID, I went to First English Lutheran Church is where I used to attend. It's very much more about the ritualistic kind of religion, with the lighting of candles, and the preacher wears the whole white gown and the whole nine like that. And I wanted her to just see another way that people praise, and just to see the old church building is what I really wanted her to see the stained glass windows and the pews and all that stuff. Unfortunately, they don't even still have the same pastor that they had back when I attended there. COVID really took that church down a notch or two, man. They lost their pastor. A lot of people stopped attending. Attendance is way down, and they've lost a few of the people that attended, where a lot of elderly people attend that church. So they lost quite a few people through COVID as well. So coming back there, it would have been really nice to show Caitlin that church back when I attended, and back when it was like in its full swing, when we had full pews and the flowers were everywhere. I mean, it just felt there was a very lost and broken feeling in the atmosphere of just inside there, the entire church, everybody in there, and the church itself. You can tell that there's a longing there, and it was a really good reminder for me of, the church that I used to attend and what that was like, and what it's like for me to attend church these days. It's a total different way of praise. Now I attend a non-denominational church, and it's not by the books and all that stuff like Lutheran Church is. So it was cool for me to actually experience it, because there was a lot of things that I was remembering from my old church that made me feel like, oh, I miss this and I miss that. But actually going there really made me realize that the switch we made to going to the chapel here in Whitewater now is actually a really good change, and I really do get a better connection there or whatever. It's just better for my lifestyle and the person that I am, Morning, Catherine. Morning, Amber Doobie. Matt, I know I don't watch you a lot now, but I do try. Being a new mom is hard. Having my own life is rare. Yeah, you're a new mom these days. That's okay. I know you're busy, dear. You're busy. What's up, guys? Give me some likes. Give me some loves. Throw some hearts up on this video. Good to see everybody this morning. If we got anybody new here, let me know. Yeah, and thank you guys for helping me with the audio troubles in the beginning. That was great. Shelly, hey, how's it going? How's it going for you, dear? How you doing? It's going good for me. We had a beautiful day yesterday. 2 church services. It felt like a super long day, honestly. Two church services. A buddy of mine from church stopped by. We played some Grand Theft Auto. Caitlin and I moved. If you don't know this, my brother Troy lived with me for a while, and he moved back up north. I shouldn't say like moved back up north. That kind of puts a negative connotation. He met a woman, and he's getting married, and they bought a house together, and so they moved up north. He moved out. He's moving on to a new chapter of his life. So yay, that's awesome to see people doing better. But he still has a lot of stuff here. So we took all of his stuff that was just kind of packed in his bedroom, put it down into the basement, and Caitlin has taken over his bedroom as her office now. So now we both have an office here in the upstairs. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. Shelly, good to catch you. I've been working a lot during the times you share. Well, I'm glad to have you here. Stephanie Titus, how you doing? How was everybody's weekend? Anybody have anything special you want to talk about? Anything that happened this weekend that you want to make a note on? Did anybody go to church? Do you not go to church? Let's talk about it. Shelly, I'm doing good. Just for today, I will have a year clean and sober August 7th. Right on. Coming up. No fronts. No fronts, but coming up on it. Keep doing the right thing. Keep putting the right foot forward and doing what you've been doing and practicing your recovery and working on yourself, and you'll get there. No problem. One day at a time, though. That's very right. That is very right. We get there one day at a time. I'm not much for celebrating early, just because when we announce, I feel like it's kind of like, you ever see the videos of the guys that are like right before they cross the finish line, they throw their hands up like, "Boo, I won," and then they crash their bicycle, and then they don't cross the finish line. Like, even though it looks like it's right there, the finish line is right there, you're about to cross that thing. Myself, I'm just like, stay focused, man. Don't worry about, hey, in a month I'm going to have this. Just worry about today, Mendy, over the weekend, I lost a good friend from this disease. My heart is shattered, but I do know she is at peace now, but I'm sad. Aw, I'm so sorry to hear that, Mendy. Prayers for you and the one you lost, and for your family and their family and everybody involved in that situation. This disease is terrible, man. It takes more people every day. Patrice, I can catch a few minutes. I'm on break. Right on. Hey, Patrice, how you doing? Shelly says, I feel you. You're absolutely right. Amen. Just stay focused on, don't worry about, that we're already crossing it. We just stay focused and work one day at a time. We'll get there. We'll get there. Pam, humbly, gratefully blessed with 8 years and 1 day today. Right on, Pam. Pam hit 8 years yesterday. We celebrated with her last night. If you guys weren't here last night, make sure you go back and catch the replay on Pam coming and sharing her story of 8 years of recovery. She messaged me, you must have messaged me last night after I had already went to sleep. She rewatched the video and she was upset with herself on her camera skills. There was one point where all she was showing us was the ceiling, and we could see her hand, and it kind of felt like I was talking to a hand puppet for a second. It cracked me up. I thought it was funny. It was fine, Pam. You did a great job. We could hear you the whole time, so that's the important thing. Catherine, to me, this month has been busy in a wonderful way. Ooh, do tell. Do tell. I would love to hear of the wonderful things. Nick, on Wednesday, my daughter told me she wanted to live with me. Of course, I was tickled pink. Then yesterday, she said she wants to stay in West Bend. Needless to say, I died inside a bit. Been rough, but still clean. Right on, Nick. Keep your thoughts high, man. That's awesome, though. That it may have fallen through this time, but that really shows you that want is there. It may have been some things in the way and some things that changed in her mindset, but at the same time, she was working towards that change, and considering actually doing that. So, those are good things. Those are good things. Focus on the positive, right? Let's see, making sure. Oh, Justin Gray headed to Nashville this Friday through Monday. Stoked for a fun getaway. Right on, Justin. That's badass, brother. That is awesome. Amber, I used weed to help with anxiety, but I smoked the other day. I got so paranoid I was going to drop my kid, so I'm gonna wait to smoke weed until he's old, no more. But yeah, I've been stressed out, tired, but family helping me out a lot. Well, good, Amber. I'm glad that you had that realization there, and I'm glad you got your priorities straight enough to know that if it makes you feel that way and it's not helping your anxiety anymore, if it's not an asset to your life anymore, then that's a good thing to do right there. Put up a boundary, step back from it, and who knows? Maybe you'll try it again someday, maybe you won't, but either way, that's awesome. Just make that next step. Know your limitations. Bradley Bagwell's here. Bradley Bagwell. Good morning, Bradley. How are you? Josh, what's up, man? How you doing? Good to see you. Hey, is that Curtis I see there too? What's up, Curtis? How you doing, brother? Good to see everybody. I'm having a good day. I hope you guys are having a good day. Got a good workout in this morning. I got a new weight bench. It's not a full-on weight bench, all right? Not like a bench press and the whole nine. It's just like it looks like this. It's like a seat, and then you sit on it and you use your dumbbells or whatever else. But it just adds a few more varieties to the workouts. So my arms are killing me a little bit. Got all these guns to carry around. Angie asking for prayers for my friend Danielle. She's in early recovery and is having a hard time. Aw, well, definitely. We'll send some prayers up, guys. Throw some hearts up and some care emojis there. And then, of course, send up some real prayers in the real world. I'm sorry to hear she's struggling, but you know, that early recovery stuff, that struggle is so necessary. That in the early days of your recovery, it's so much more of a struggle because you have so much more to take care of, you know. I've heard it said both ways. I've heard people say, you know, that you get stronger, and I've heard people say that it gets easier. And I believe a little bit of both is true. I believe it does get a little easier and you get stronger. I believe part of it getting easier is because you got stronger, but part of the reason that it gets a little easier as you go in recovery is because we've taken care of a few things. You know, we got some fines paid off, we got probation maybe is over, court dates are taken care of, made some amends, maybe stepped away from toxic people. So we have made our path a little easier. And in doing so, you've done things that made you stronger. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely down the road it gets better, but we'll keep everybody in early recovery. Keep them in your prayers, guys. They need it for sure. Tabby, I need some prayers. I'm struggling with pain from this stupid cancer and fighting with no pain relief. Oh, that is one of the battles that us recovering addicts know all too well. No narcotic pain relievers, and we have to push through these giant battles, and I'm so sorry to hear that you're pushing through them pains of cancer and everything else. Cancer sucks, man. F cancer. Tell you that right now. Thank you for being here, though, and letting us lift you up in prayer. Guys, throw up all kinds of hearts for Tabby. Let her know we're thinking about her. Keep her in your prayers today. Angie, she's trying so hard. I'm so proud of her. Right on. Right on. Just keep pushing. That's all we can hope for. Amber says, did you get a haircut? Not too recently. Curtis, celebrating 2 weeks today. Right on, bro. Hell yeah. That's awesome to hear, man. Good job. Keep it up, dude. Keep it up. Keep doing what you're doing. Lynette, hell yeah. Good morning, Lynette. How are you? Catherine says, great facts, Matty. Right on. Right on. That's all I got. No, every once in a while they're not so mind-blowing. I'll tell you, one time I had this thought on a live video, and in my head it sounded so much more profound. You ever have that where you think of something and you're like, that is like mind-blowing stuff, and then you say it out loud to someone else and it's so not. I have that pretty regularly here on the Pointer Change. Like, I have these thoughts when I'm like at work or something. I have something cross my mind. I'm like, oh, I cannot wait. I got to get home. I got to make a video about that. And then I get home. And, okay, so the thing I thought of this one day, and it was mind-blowing for me, right, was like, when you have a thought of getting high, just remember that you didn't get this far by using. That's all the thought was. That's all the thought was. And when I thought of it, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing information. Everybody needs to know this. And then I go live and I say it and I'm like, next time you think about getting high, just remind yourself that you didn't get this far by getting high. And I was like, that's not even mind-blowing. Like, oh, thank you, Mr. Recovery Guru, for bestowing this amazing information upon us. How did we make it so far without your beautiful information? Idiot. Catherine, every day flows, brain to another's ear. Angie, being around her makes me remember being in early recovery. I can't remember how far I've come. Oh, I feel you there. Being around people who aren't as far along in recovery for you as you can be just as inspirational as being around people who are farther, you know, because we often try to stick with the winners, you know, so we stick with people who are farther along on this path or people who are just as far as us. And it's great. That's awesome information. Those are people that are lighting the torches down the path farther than us. You know, they can warn us of the things coming ahead and they can keep our head in the game and stuff. But so often that I talk to people that are in the early struggles of recovery or still in the depths of an active addiction, and it reminds me of something that I totally forgot about as a struggle, and it's almost more inspiring than hearing about stuff that's coming up sometimes to remember, wow, I remember feeling that way, or I remember having those thoughts, or I remember that going on in my life, and just it reminds me to be thankful for where I am, really. Brian O'Brien, you're doing great, brother. Just keep it at one day at a time. Right on. One day at a time. That's all I can do. Lynette, Matty, that's great. It happens. It happens. Sometimes, one man's trash is another man's treasure. So sometimes you'll hear something like one person will hear somebody say something like that, and it bounces right off of them. And another person, it's like their saving grace. I've heard people like a saying that I think is so stupid, and I hear it so often, and I think it's so stupid is that whole "I'm allergic to alcohol. I break out in handcuffs." Like I think that's so dumb. But I've heard other people that were like, "Yeah, this one time I seen a post and it said I'm allergic to alcohol. I break out in handcuffs." And I was like, dude, that's me right there, man. Like that changed my life. And I'm like, what do you mean? How did that change your life? That's so douchey. But whatever, you know what I mean? If that's your saying, that's your saying. You just enjoy it. Lynette, I'm all about helping others in recovery. I must say it's a little hard to deal with when they beg for help. Then when you offer, they say they don't know if they are willing to do anything you suggested that they try. Oh, I feel ya. I feel ya. And then it kind of gives you that it gives you a terrible feeling because for one, it's like I would have, don't waste my time, don't waste your time, and don't waste my time. Kind of like one feeling that you get on that. Another is just the horrible heartbreak that you know they can do this. You know they can do this, but they just don't want to put that effort in, or they're too scared. But at the same time, I was that same person. I was that same person that I didn't know if I wanted this or not. And for so long at the end of a person's addiction, the words and the actions aren't matching up anymore. When you're caught in an active addiction, your mind, your body, and your soul are all three tearing in different directions, and it tears a person apart from the inside out. So it's like they're constantly fighting themselves. I mean, for instance, how many times did we say, I'm never doing this again, or I'm not going to do meth. I don't want to do meth ever again. And then, end up getting high within the next day or so. You were high again when you just literally were talking about how you don't want to do it anymore. So then it becomes that question of which is, the duality of a person and their addiction, which is the real voice. And for the addict, it can get really confusing because the voice of addiction sounds just like you. It sounds just like your thoughts. So we don't even know. And then a lot of times once the addiction comes back in and starts manipulating the thoughts again, the feelings you were having during your come down or during that withdrawal or whatever you were going through that made you think, oh God, I don't want to do this anymore. I feel horrible. I never want to do heroin or meth or whatever it was. I never want to do that again because I feel this way now. That feeling of withdrawal and detox is gone. You know what I mean? You don't even really remember feeling that way just a couple days later, because addiction actually does affect your memory and affects the hippocampus in your brain, which is in charge of keeping your memories and stuff. And it really blinds you to all that stuff. It can put that stuff into a little box so you don't remember that detox. Just a couple days later, you're craving drugs again, and the fact that you were almost dying and didn't want to do this anymore doesn't even register as a thought today. So it's a hell of a thing to talk somebody out of doing, Amber, I have a friend that's thinking about leaving recovery because he is bored with group. He's clean now, but he doesn't think he needs to be there, but he's required to be there. Yeah, I go there too sometimes. It does get boring, but I still think all people there need to be there. The problems we're having in group, no one really wants to share. I gotcha. Those are problems that we have with these kind of groups as well, and one thing that us addicts, we seem to do this a lot, happens with our medicating our mental illnesses and everything. When things start going okay, we feel like we should step away from the thing that was helping it going okay, right? Like, for instance, you're on antidepressant or anti-anxiety meds or whatever it is that's helping you with your mental illness. If it fixes it, or I shouldn't say fixes it, but it makes your symptoms go away. It makes you feel better, and then you think, oh, well, I don't need to take that anymore because I'm better, Same thing happens with meetings and stuff like that. Well, I feel better, so I don't need the meetings anymore. And I've seen that go both ways. I've seen people that actually did get to a level of maturity in their recovery where they were like, you know what? The meetings are actually becoming a degradation to me. I'm spending too much money on gas. It's taking up too much time out of my work week or my family life or whatever. But I got this, and I'm going to step away from the meetings. And they do, but they also find other ways to cope. They find other things to add in to take up that time that they're giving. Because whenever you give something up, good or bad, whatever it is, when you give it up, there's going to be a hole in your life, right? It opens up this vacancy of time or money or whatever it is. And now you have to find something else to put there. So a lot of people go from in-person meetings to more like this, watching Facebook videos or doing that kind of thing. And that is a really successful way to do it. Then there's the other way of just, I have seen people that just step away from their meetings and they still manage to work their recovery and still stay clean and still push through. But more often than not, when people decide to change up their recovery routine, they get into this, they got structure, they got a schedule, they got it, life has become manageable, and then they decide, well, my life is manageable, so I'm going to stop doing these couple things or whatever, and you change up your schedule, you change up your routine, and sometimes that can be all it takes for a person to start to slip back into the old mindset and start to stop focusing on themselves again. You know what I'm saying? Throw up some hearts if you know what I'm saying. I hope you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. Angie, I already read that one. Stephanie, I know exactly what you mean. Good, I'm glad. Angie, it's so hard when you want to quit, but it's so hard to not do what you've always done. If we always do what we've always done, we always get what we've always got, right? Yep, that's that real stuff right there. But yeah, it is so hard, and that, like I've said it 1,000 times, and when I talk to people that message me for help, and the first message is, of course, that they don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do meth anymore, or I don't want to get high again, or whatever it is, I don't want to do this anymore. And I try to remind them to keep that mindset, because here's the thing, you're going to have those thoughts now, and tomorrow those thoughts aren't going to be there anymore. Tomorrow, those thoughts of, I don't want to do this anymore, I got to step away, I got to quit. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, you're going to think that you were an idiot for reaching out to me. You're going to think, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Now I'm just going to go back to the way it was. Try and stay in that mindset of, I don't want to do this anymore, and keep riding that. Keep pushing through it, because if you don't, you end up with that body, mind, and soul tearing apart from each other. You end up with that horrible ripping apart from the inside. And ultimately, what will happen is you will end up in jail, in prison, overdosing, or dead from something that you don't even want to do anymore. You know what I'm saying? That really sucks. That really sucks. Like, you've already had the thoughts, you've already had the feelings that you don't want to do this anymore, but you keep doing it. And you end up with huge punishments, convictions, and sitting time or dead over something that you didn't even want to do anymore, Catherine, tools, new habits, healthy spirituality, spiritual years, learning new ways to be emotionally healthier, and always being a better me. Right on, Catherine. That's what you got to do. Develop a toolbox. We got to put together a toolbox of ways to cope with this life. Angie, I stopped going to meetings after a little over... excuse me. I stopped going to meetings after a little over a year clean, not because I didn't think I needed it, but because of all the drama there. Well, I can totally relate to that. I've definitely heard the same story from other people in the past as well. And my heart really goes out to women in recovery. Honestly, because unless there is an actual women's meeting in your area, women are really put off by recovery meetings and stuff, and it's not their own doing. I mean, it's because of that atmosphere. You're, especially if you're the only woman or there's only a few women in the area, and you come into this man-led meeting, you get all the eyes on you. Everybody's trying to offer you an extra chair, extra coffee. Everybody's trying to be, greet you at the door with that extra warm welcome that they're just trying to schmooze on you, and it's all just. it gets weird, dudes in early recovery, dudes and girls in early recovery, they're so weird. It's that emotional and spiritual immaturity, and a lot of them, a lot of us in early recovery, we don't even know what we're doing. We don't know how to live this life thing, so like the ideas of sex and drugs and rock and roll can start to feed back in real quick, and before you know it, you're hitting on girls and you don't even realize that you shouldn't be hitting on girls. You know what I mean? Just so lost little puppy dogs trying to hump everybody's legs. Let's see, Lynette. I was told by a sponsor that their time was too precious, and if I wasn't serious about wanting to do what it takes, then not to even waste their time. That has stuck with me now, and that I have a good amount of time. I understand loud and clear what they meant by it. Right on, Lynette. Right on. That's that tough love. Sometimes that tough love, people, I tell you, it's so often that I have a time when I'm messaging with somebody who's, being a stubborn asshole about coming into recovery or giving me every excuse in the world for why they can't do this right now. I got a job, or I got my kids, and I live with my dad, and I can't, or I don't have a car, and I can't get to the meetings, and they give you every runaround they can for why they can't make recovery work for them, why their story is special, and why it won't work for them, and often I end up just hitting them with like hard truths. I just end up telling them something like, okay, well then what I want you to do is I want you to go through your phone and I want you to find a picture of yourself that you think you look good in. Try and find the picture that you think that your family will be using on your funeral. Find the picture that you think that your mom is going to have printed out and put on her mantle to remember you by. Find some quote of yours that you think your family's going to want to have tattooed on their arm once you're gone. Find the sweater in your dresser that your girlfriend loves that you think she's going to cling to after you die from an overdose and she has to sleep without you now. And you hit them with those things, and sometimes it's like, I really hope it doesn't push them away. But you'd be shocked how many times a message like that actually sticks and helps somebody take that next step. It really is. Sometimes you just got to make it real for them, that I got to tell them, hey man, like go pick out a picture from your Facebook profile that you think I should use on your, eulogy post. When I make that RIP post, what picture do you think I should use when I post your name and post RIP, another angel gone too soon? Which picture should I use? And those are the questions that they're like, oh shit, I got to realize that, Nicole says, it was nice to see you guys yesterday. It was nice to see you too. Thank you. Yeah, as soon as I came in, I was like, oh, good. We had just met in the park not that long ago and talked about how you had stopped attending, or that church wasn't doing anything and you weren't really doing anything, and then to meet up at church there again, that was cool. And that says, oh, Matty, that's deep, man. I like it though. Hey, sometimes you just gotta hit them with those questions, Catherine, it took me so many times, tried to find meetings I felt comfortable in. Adult children of alcoholics and addicts with one of my favorite years ago. I want to move to Washington. Of course, he did not have it yet. I think that 2 years ago they started the meetings, so I just never give up. Keep trying. That's what I do. Just my opinion. Right on, Catherine. That's all you can do. Just look for if when you go to a meeting, you're not only seeing if the meeting is good, or you're not only seeing if you're good for this meeting, but you're seeing if this meeting is good for you. Is this a place that's going to be conducive to a good recovery? Are there people here who are going to support you, or are there people here that you feel are going to push you away? Is it too male dominated? Is it too female dominated? Does the person who lead the meeting suck? You know what I mean? Like, these are all things you need to take into consideration when you go and check out these meetings, because if you go to a meeting and you get there and you're like, the dude who chairs this meeting is a pervert, he gives me weird ass vibes, I don't freaking like him, you're not going to have a good experience in that meeting. Okay, that's the basis of what I can tell you, is if you're not getting along with people there. But also you need to, of course, keep boundaries up, and like, you're going to have those certain people in meetings that you don't like that you don't like, right? They're abrasive or whatever. You just don't mesh with each other. As long as it's not somebody who's like running the meeting or some big important person in this schedule, then don't worry about it. You gotta be there for you and not worry about how other people. Because I mean, we all know that there's that guy in the meeting that's obviously still using, and everybody knows it, and he overshares and takes up too much time, and he's the teacher's pet or whatever. There's always those guys. You know what I mean? But to a point, you got to remember that this is your recovery. You're there for you, and you just got to take what you can get from it and leave the rest, you know. But there are certain aspects of this that, just like a career option or a job, you know, you got to feel this out. Is this right for me? Is this the right recovery program? Does this fit my lifestyle? Is this meeting right for me? Or even like following these recovery pages, is this guy on this page right for me? If I'm not right for you, there's, you know, so many other recovery speakers out there who are doing it differently than I am. But I love the fact that some of you guys are doing it my way, some of you guys aren't, and we all still get along and we all still inspire each other and motivate each other. I love that. Nick, principles before personalities. Boom! Boom! I like that. Catherine says 13th stepping. No, 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 no. No more 13th steppers. Pam, I'm the only female in my home group meeting quite often, and I'm very okay with that. The men are my best friends. Right on, you know, and that's an excellent point there as well, Pam, is, you know, we're often told men with the men, women with the women. That's how it's, you know, it's supposed to stick. And I see why it's important to say that. And I see why it's important to stick to that rule most of the time, because I don't know who any of these guys in this live feed are right now. Like, I can't just be like, hey, girls, you should all talk to this guy here. And then later on we find out that he was messaging him pictures of his wiener and everything else. And then I'm at fault in a way, because I was like, hey, girls, you should message this guy. You know what I mean? Like, so there's a lot of, you know, people are perverts, people are weird, people are different. So like, you never know who somebody really is on the other side of this phone, or even in a meeting. You don't know what they do in their own home. You don't know nothing about that guy. So I see why it's important that women stick to women and men stick to men. But on the opposite side of that coin, some of the biggest influencers and people who have really helped me strive for better in my recovery have been females. Like Bradley Bagwell, for instance. She's like an awesome recovery friend of mine, and she motivates me so much. Krista Turner, she reaches out to me, I reach out to her, like, and it's such an awesome, like, beneficial relationship between all of us, you know? And then there's so many women here on this page because I'm so cute. Anyway, so there's all these women that follow my page, and you guys are all super inspirational, and you help me so much. There's even this dude, Jared Barnes. I hope you see this, Jared. I hope you see this. I don't even know Jared, but he's been following my page for a long time. This dude thinks I am hot as shit. All right, he is all over me. That dude supports the shit out of my channel, though, just because he thinks I'm pretty. It don't matter what I post. Jared will share it, and he'll write above it. I'm like, thanks for the support, bro. It's so funny, especially when I post any post that I make. If I put a selfie on it, like the first share to register, almost guaranteed every time I'll get a notification. Jared Barnes has shared the Point of Changes post. It's just, break me off a piece of this recovery. I tell you what, Mr. Jablonski. Love you, Jared. Thanks for the support, brother. Amber, I won't lie, Matt. You are cute as fuck. Aw, ain't I though? Catherine, healthy boundaries with co-ed support. I need to get out of my comfort zone. There has to be comfortable boundaries. There has to be boundaries set up, that's for sure. Lynette, a friend, and I were helping facilitate a meeting in a new recovery place, and one of the men that lived there gave me the absolute creeps. I felt like I couldn't let my guard down around him. And when I was asked to do it by myself, I couldn't do it. I just didn't feel comfortable, not to mention that the town doesn't have enough police and ambulances when needed. The crime rate is out of this world. Maybe that's something that I need to work on. Right on, Lynette. Right on. Yeah, that's what I mean. You got to find a good conducive environment to your recovery, because if there's people in your recovery meetings who make you uncomfortable and make you feel like you can't be your true self, or like if you share too much, they're going to get the wrong idea or whatever else. There's so many reasons that a person would start tiptoeing through the tulips. You start walking on eggshells in your own meeting. And that's not a good environment. That's not a place where you need to be to help you grow and change, because being vulnerable is a huge part of healing. Crazy, because being vulnerable means being open for attack, right? It means that you're opening yourself so that people can hurt you when you're vulnerable. But we have to become vulnerable in order to heal as well. So if you can't open up and become vulnerable, then you're not going to find the same healing that you're supposed to find. Elaine Weaver's here. Good morning, Elaine Weaver. Amber, I thought I used to be your top fan. He sounds like he is the top fan. He's the power top fan. Know what I'm saying? Oh, that was bad. Was that bad? Was that bad? I thought it was probably bad. I don't think it's a good idea. You should give yourself your undivided attention and work on healing you before adding another to the mix. Definitely. Are we talking about getting into a relationship in recovery? Is that what that comes down to? Catherine, check this out today. I have a gentleman about my age come on by. I'm a landlord. He's the tenant. I am not comfortable, so I need prayers that I do not react and I respond. Today I have a gentleman about my age come on by. I'm a landlord. He's a tenant. I am not comfortable. So I need prayers that I do not react and I respond. Right on, Catherine. We will send up some prayers for you. I'm sorry that he makes you feel that way. Yeah, all the comforting prayers you can have coming at you. That's for sure. It's weird. My skin looks like super yellow in this camera over here. Or if we switch up the lighting. Hang on. Change to a blue light. How's it look? Waiting. I gotta wait until he changes. It's a little less yellow. I'm still pretty yellow, though. Trying to fix it. That's all right. We'll leave it like that. Brian got my joke. Power top. I'm glad somebody got it. Mary, praying that you respond. Good to know the difference. Amen, right? Respond, not react. I like that. Let's see. No, doing good. Mary Huffman, how are you? Good to see you this morning. Thanks for being here. We are almost done, though. I'm going to get out of here pretty suddenly. Before I go, if anybody wants to become a supporter of The Point of Change, go to patreon.com/thepointofchange. You get access to the Island of Misfit Addicts here on Facebook. It's a closed group where I make 2 additional weekly live videos, one on Tuesday evenings and then one on Saturday mornings. If you'd like some merchandise, go to shop.spreadshirt.com/thepointofchange and get yourself some t-shirts. We got hats, we got pillow covers, we got coffee cups, we got all kinds of stuff over there. Go check out my merch and see what you like. Anything else do I got going on? Pretty soon we're starting the Music of Recovery month. All month next month, every Sunday evening at 7 p.m. Central on The Point of Change, I will have a different musician from the recovery world coming on here to share their story. We have Diamond Betcher, of course, my buddy, the creator of the Recovery Ribbon. He's also a musician, if you didn't know that, so he'll be coming by. Serge, if you haven't heard Serge, you can go check him out. He's not actually a recovering addict, but he works a lot with Cloud Gang and collaborates with KC Makes Music and guys like that. So I'm going to bring him on here, and we're going to talk about what it's like being a non-addict who is working with recovering addicts and see if the relationship there has spilled into his world at all. Has he found himself coming into recovery even though he's not an addict? Sam Rourke, she's an amazing, uplifting, awesome, up-and-coming country music star. She's coming on here to share her story, and we're going to listen to some of her music. It's going to be great, and there's a couple more people that are still waiting in the balance, but we'll get them figured out. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning, guys. I love you guys so much. I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Until then, stay happy,